Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Britton's Hangout Hour, episode 66. At least as of the recording of this. I am here today with D from Through the Pages with D. How you doing today?
Hello. Yes, I'm good, thank you. Very good. Thank you for having me. This is my first time on somebody else's channel, so I'm very honoured. Thank you, Britton.
Oh, no problem at all. We were talking the other day, and you were telling me some fun stories. I'm like, I gotta have you on my podcast soon.
My dad, yeah, a bit of a tainted past there.
um, but yeah, you actually did you start your channel recently?
Oh yeah, it's only been end of January,
Oh wow, so you're part of the I guess class of 24. I don't know. I don't keep
2024.
I don't keep up with this stuff.
Class of 24. Need to get one of those jackets made. What they called? Letterman jackets.
Indeed.
I
I'll admit I did think you were from Yorkshire, but no,
know.
you're from
It made me laugh so much. I'm like, if he knows anything about the War of the Roses, that could be taken as an insult because I'm from Lancashire and we War of the Roses is Lancashire versus Yorkshire, but obviously in this present day that doesn't exist. But no, I'm a Lancashire lass.
So is that pretty
I'll
close
forgive
to
you.
so is that pretty
Yeah, very
close?
close. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
literally next to each other. So you're not a million miles off. But in Yorkshire, it's more no, it's more broad than we are. I mean, I've got what's called. I'm from Oldham, so everybody knows now where I'm from. But we say no and buzz. Where in Yorkshire, it's slightly different. It's a little bit of a different twang.
So you cover books on your channel. Um
Hmm.
you cover fantasy books a lot
A lot of
and
fantasy.
and you did cover Kindred on your channel, I think, if I remember right.
Hmm. I
Because
did.
Darko's video.
Darko. Yeah, he inspired me. I loved every single word that man said. Just touched my heart, and I thought I have to read this. Have to give this a go. And yeah, did not fail. I actually went into Waterstones today and asked for more Octavia E. Butler. Sadly, they didn't have any, but yeah, I want to read more. Definitely.
I only have two of her books. I have Kindred, of course,
Hmm.
because I read it with Darko,
Yeah.
and Parable of the Sower. So
Okay. What do you think to that?
I haven't read Parable of the Sower yet. I've only
Oh,
read
okay.
Kindred, and I
Right.
really enjoyed Kindred.
Oh, Kindred was so good.
It was my first 5-star read. It took me a minute. I
Yeah.
had to think about it, but I'm like, all right, it's 5-star, at least for
Yeah.
me.
But it does give you, it gives you so much thought, doesn't it? Just all the different parables in it, and it just sets you thinking. You're like, oh, wow. For the time that she wrote it as well.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
very succinct. I thought
Hmm.
like
Yeah.
there's not a moment wasted in that book.
No. No. There's not a word, not a page, not a pause where you think, oh, I could have lived without that. Not one. It was a fantastic, amazing read. I loved it. Loved it.
I usually hate saying that because like it makes
Mm,
me feel insecure as a writer, but um it's true in that case.
mm.
Sometimes
Yeah.
things are true.
Yeah, but don't feel insecure as a writer because that's your thing. That's your baby.
Mm-hmm.
You know, everybody writes what they want to write. So it comes from the heart, doesn't it, what you write? So, I mean, don't feel that way because, and I think I said this to you about your earlier videos as well. Like, don't judge them because that's who you were at that time.
Yeah, it was before I got this nice little setup I have now. So yeah,
Yeah, been looking back on a few of mine. I'm like, oh, okay.
yeah.
That's who,
You also read T
T
Kingfisher.
Kingfisher. Mm-hmm.
Her What Moves the Dead and What Feasts at Night,
Mm-hmm.
which spoilers for anyone who might watch this in several weeks, but D is might be joining John and I to talk about it. Oh, yeah. But I enjoyed those. I won't talk too much about them because
No,
like I said,
no, we'll save that.
but I liked them.
Different.
Yes,
Definitely different. Mm.
very fungal as well.
Yeah. And I went down a rabbit hole there. I really did. Yeah, that really caught my attention, and I was like, what's all this? So yeah, I did some research on that. Went down a rabbit hole.
Yeah, I then saw your American Gods video, and I'm like, I think we're going to get
Mm.
along famously.
Me and you have very similar taste in books. And then when I did my most recent one in relation to oh, what did I recently do? Oh, Wickwire Watch, and it's very Diconian. That got you too,
Yeah,
because
yeah,
Charles Dickens.
yeah. Dickens. I was like, oh, Dickens, you say? Oh, count me in. Even though I was already planning
Yeah,
on reading that book. I
yeah,
just
you should.
haven't gotten it yet. It's like Legend
Yeah,
of
you should.
Blackjack. It's one of those indie books I want
Mm,
to get. I just haven't
mm,
gotten around to getting them yet.
yeah, it's very Diconian, very at the start, very.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. They've
You'll
also
enjoy it. I don't know if you'll feel like I did, where you feel like it maybe falls off a little bit towards the end because it loses the Draconian element. But hey, you never know. Try it, you'll find out.
I mean, you may like I don't know if you've read The Gentleman Bastards, but that also has a
I have it. I
Dick-
have it. I
there
just
is
haven't read it
some
yet.
Dickensian elements in that one
Oh, is there?
a little bit, especially at the beginning or in the
Mm,
flashbacks.
right. Yeah, I need to stop buying books and read what I've got.
Yeah, I know, right? Like,
Yeah.
you know, yeah.
It's getting a bit ridiculous. I've actually ordered bookshelves today, so yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the books I'm reading right now, I am hopefully going to finish Sharp's Tiger today, and then I'm
What do you
reading.
want as a present? What you're reading at the moment?
Wait, what'd you say?
What are you reading at the moment?
Oh, what am I reading at the moment? Well, let's see.
Hmm.
I finally got around to starting, or not starting, but I'm keeping going with The Crossing by Cormac McCarthy.
Oh, Cormac McCarthy.
Um,
Okay.
it's pretty good, though it's pretty dense,
Hmm.
so I have to read this more slowly than some other books I've read.
Mm.
And hopefully I'm going to finish Sharp's Tiger today, which I think you'll like it. It's
Sean
very
Bean. Is that Sean Bean from the program? Is that?
it is what
Oh,
the
is
Sean
it that
Bean
sharp?
TV is what it's
Yeah.
based on, and I hear Sean Bean's voice, so it's kind of funny.
Yeah, I bet you do. Yeah.
One does not
I would
simply
say
go
it, but
into
it's a naughty word.
Sarengbatum. Yeah,
I
I
could
do.
do one impression of Sean Bean, but it's a naughty word, so I won't do
Yeah, it's yeah, he's good. He's good. He dies a
it.
lot, but he's good.
Oh, well, okay.
Well, in the movies, he dies a lot. He seems like a nice
Mm.
guy though in real life.
Yeah, I think he probably is. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, no, it's
Yeah.
but yeah, no. After that, I'm going to start Doctor Fantasy himself, Philip Chase's
Sir
Way of
Philip J.
Edan, because that
Mm.
was one of my big March reads I wanted to do. Looking
I've
forward
I've
to
read
that.
yeah, I've read probably 6 pages into that. Because I got it on ebook, and I struggle with ebook. I've got to be honest. I prefer a paper copy, but I did enjoy what I read. Um, yeah, there's a character called Dayraven, and it's stuck in my head. So yeah, yeah,
Beautiful
it's
cover,
such
by
a
the way.
beautiful cover. Yeah, it is. It's beautiful cover.
I
Have you
mean,
seen that
I
post
already
he put
told
up
Philip
about?
that, but
Yeah, it's stunning cover.
oh yeah, that's a
Have you
beautiful
seen
cover.
the post he put on about his daughter
Oh
with the
yeah,
cello?
they're doing like
Yeah,
she's gonna do like a music thing or something.
yeah,
Hope that goes well for him.
yeah, yeah. That looks good. Looks good. I like Philip. He's a gentleman. He really is.
Yeah, I've talked with him a few times on my channel.
Mm,
Yeah, he is a nice guy. I heard
mm.
this book is kind of violent. I'm like, oh man.
Yeah, and it's got swear words in it, which knocked me back a bit because it's Philip Chase, and I was like, oh, okay, didn't expect that. Well, that's cool.
Yeah, no, it's but from all accounts, it's gotten pretty good reviews.
Mm.
So yeah,
Yeah, I enjoyed what I read.
it's my
Mm.
next self pub read. There's one I'm doing. Again, there's a bunch of books I want to get to this year.
Mm.
It's been tough because I'm going that well I'm on break this week, so I'm using that time to catch up with a lot of things
Yeah, yeah.
I've been doing, but it sucks up a lot of your time. I mean, I don't know if you
Oh,
went to
yeah.
college,
I
but
did.
you did.
Well, your college is our university, yes?
Oh, well, yeah.
Yeah. So yes, I did. I have actually been to university, but I didn't stay. I did a foundation year, but I didn't carry on. My daughter's my youngest girl. She's currently at university in where Sean Bean is from, Sheffield. So when she comes home, she speaks like she's from Yorkshire.
It's all come full circle to
Yeah.
Sean Bean.
It's what I thought straight away when you said it. I thought, does he mean me or my daughter?
That's
What
funny.
yeah. She's doing good. She's studying psychology.
Oh, that's always fun.
Mm.
Yeah. We've also covered Joe.
Yes.
Didn't you say you didn't really care for Joe Abercrombie? That kind of surprises me. Thought he would.
Yeah.
Thought he would.
I think that was down to me, to be honest. I think I'd put too much onus on the grimdark.
It's really
I think
British, you know. Like there's a lot of dark
yeah, I know,
humor.
and that's why I was like, oh, I don't know if I really want to say this because I feel like I'm slating a homegrown lad, but I didn't even find it that funny. Yeah. I've got a kind of macabre sense of humour. So I'm that person, and I apologise, but I'm that person who will laugh at you walking into a patio door. That's my sense of humour. I'll laugh if you fall over. I'm terrible. I've got a horrible sense of humour. So
So
I
you
was
like
expecting,
sometimes you like looking up like wipeout videos where people are just
yeah,
hanging out and they just
yep,
slip and
yep.
fall.
And I will roll and I will cry. And I know I shouldn't, but I will because that's just my sense of humour. It's very macabre, very dark. My banter can be quite dark, so I have to reel myself in sometimes. But I expected more from it and I didn't get that. So I'm kind of not in a rush to carry on because I felt a little bit let down. Now, what did amaze me, humour wise, was Nicholas Ames, Kings of the Wild.
You actually
That to
have
me
those
was
books right
hilarious.
there. I haven't read them yet.
So good. So good. It made me laugh so much. And on the other hand, made me cry. Now, if a book does both, it's up there for me. Up there.
I'll have
Yeah.
to,
Kings of the Wild is fantastic.
I need to try that out.
Fantastic.
I've seen Nicholas Ames making the rounds on YouTube before,
Mm.
so
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And even when I've watched him in an interview, and I watched him with Mike doing an interview, and it was funny on there. I found his humour funny. Put it this way, my humour is Ricky Gervais, so that should explain a lot.
Like you mean Ricky
Ricky
Gervais,
Gervais, yeah,
the comedian? Oh, okay.
yeah. You know The Office, but
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah,
British
yeah.
version.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my humour. So sorry, but that'd explain a lot.
I'm like, you like Ricky Gervais? That man has a very punchable face for some reason.
Yeah, he does. He does. I can't deny that fact. He does. Yeah.
I mean,
I'm not going to
if I
argue.
met him, I would probably be nice to him. But like, I don't know.
Well, he's a very, very rich man. So would I. But no, you're quite right. I think he's probably got slightly slappable chops. Yeah.
Yeah. You actually did a book haul recently.
Ricky Gervais did.
No, you did.
Oh, me. Oh, I thought you were
Sorry.
still talking about Ricky Gervais. Yes, I did.
There were some books you picked up. I think that was where I saw you picked up the H.P. Lovecraft book. So
I I ordered it, and I got it today. It's a big boy. Give me a second. I will show you. You're getting the first preview of this, Britton.
oh,
Nobody on my channel's seen it. I've given them a sneaky peek from a picture, but I will show you just what I mean by chonka. Let me juggle a few things. Please don't fall. Please don't fall. Just stay there. No, you're gonna fall. Okay. Here we go. I don't have a very big desk, so here.
ooh, that looks nice.
Oh,
Looks like
leather.
the
I don't think it's proper leather. I think it's faux. But yeah, he's a big boy.
yeah. It kind of looks like my kind of looks like my. It kind of looks like
But
my little Shakespeare.
yeah,
Book.
how was I meant to leave that on a shelf though? Once I'd seen it, that's not going to happen. I mean, it was £30, which I don't know what it equates to in dollars, but oh wait, yes I do. $45.
Damn,
Mmm.
that's a lot of money.
Yeah, but I had to.
Well, it's an
It's
omnibus,
just
so I guess that makes sense.
yeah, it's beautiful, beautiful.
Yeah,
But yes, I'm forever buying books.
I know what you
Yeah.
mean. I'm
Mm.
also constantly making trips to the bookstore. I recently got What Feasts at Night, and I broke because I like to wait a bit before I read a book
Mm,
when I buy them.
yeah.
I had to kind of bend that a little bit for What Feasts at Night because I was going to
Mm,
get it in like February, but stuff just kept getting in the way.
yeah.
So yeah, I got it and I read it, and well, I again I'll save that for when
Mm-hmm.
John and I do, and you're gonna be there.
Am I?
Maybe, yeah, yeah,
Maybe.
yeah. No. So what are like some like favorite books or series that you like?
John Gwynne.
John Gwen.
Yeah. Faithful
Actually,
and Fallen.
I do a series called What's Big Fuss. Malice was chosen. I need to. I'm on break this week, so maybe I need to
Mm.
start up on that. I just again stuff kept getting in the way.
I will say, out of the four, Malice is, in my opinion, the least enjoyable.
The least what?
Enjoyable.
Oh,
Um, but it's not rubbish. It's just Ruin, which is the third, is for me the best. I thoroughly enjoyed Ruin. Um, you know the characters, you know the storyline, but Ruin goes into it much deeper, and that's when we start with everybody knows who Carbon is, and everybody knows what the deal with Carbon is, and it just, yeah, Ruin's just awesome, amazingly awesome. In
yeah,
fact, I think I gave that a 5 in February or January.
yeah. I need to get to that because
Mm.
generally what I do is I read the Amazon sample, and
Mhm.
then if I'm feeling it, I keep going, and if I'm not, I don't.
Yeah,
So,
good idea. That's what I do.
yeah. I
So
think
John Gwynne, Robin Hobb, Farseer trilogy.
a lot of
I enjoyed that.
people have told me to check out Robin Hobb. I just haven't gotten
Mhm.
around to it yet because my God, there's so many. There's so many fantasy. Like like here's one of the books I'm hoping to read. Well, hold on. Let me just.
You're as bad as me.
No, I just need to. Hold on.
It's all right.
God, I'm just not on it right now.
You're only human, Britton.
Yeah, I know. We're all hard on ourselves though. Hey, wait a
Mhm.
minute. There we go. So I'm gonna be reading that right there from the Gorman Gas series. This is the
Oh,
first
okay.
book right there. That's the
Oh, I
first
see.
book.
Okay.
So yeah,
Mm.
I'm gonna read that during summertime.
Mm.
Hoping
See,
it's
that's the
good.
problem, isn't it? There's just so many books, so little time.
Yep, as Frank Zappa once said. Yes. I've also been skimming through some favorites of mine recently, like Lolita.
Mm.
Um, also Black Leopard, Red Wolf, which I think you would enjoy because you said you like really violent,
Mm.
macabre stuff, and Black Leopard, Red Wolf has plenty of that.
I imagine that's going to give that and my sense of humour people a really wrong impression about me. But I'm actually quite a nice person. I just enjoy dark elements. I enjoy dark sides to things. Um, I don't know why. I just do. When you was chatting with Epic Tales about Grim Dark, I was fascinated. Um, and I actually did order. What's it called again? You've read it? Beyond Redemption?
Beyond Redemption, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
that was a good
that
book.
should be coming on Thursday. So challenge accepted, Epic Tales.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, I read it last year. I did a conversation with Epic Tales um Dan from Black and Blue
Mm,
Collar Reader. He's also a very nice
yeah.
guy. I sadly did not have the mic that I do now, but I really enjoyed that video. I was kind of sad by the lackluster reception.
Yeah.
Except for my friend Jason telling me that there were Discord notifications going off during the video. I'm like,
Mm.
thanks. But yeah.
Well, when you're logged into it, it's going to happen, isn't it? Like I
Yeah.
said, we're only human. There's only so much we can be aware of at one time.
That's why I switched to StreamYard. There's
Mm.
no notifications on
Yeah, I
here.
like this. I think I'm going to use this for my birthday live that I'm going to do.
Yeah, no, it's nice. It's pretty easy to use, and
Mm.
all that fun stuff, and
Mm.
yeah. I also like darker things, which I think is another reason why we've started getting along.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yep.
because you're like, oh, you like him. Well, also American Gods. I'm like, we got along famously after that one. So
Yeah. Queen of Sheba. What?
oh my god, yeah, that was crazy.
What?
Yeah, I mean, it's one of the.
Okay.
I mean, it is my. It's at least so far. I always preface
Mm.
it with so far, but it is my favorite fantasy novel of all time.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So that's first ever Neil Gaiman I've read, and I really enjoyed it.
wow, that was your
That's
first
really
one.
good.
Oh, interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The thing is, Britton, last year, I only started reading again last year because of my health and so on and so forth, and just a lot of time on my hands. What am I going to do? Okay, I'll get back into books. But I've always been a thriller, crime, horror reader.
Mm.
I've never really dipped my toe into fantasy. I only did that January of this year. So, considering I only did it I read bits and bobs last year. I read the odd fantasy here and there, but majority of it, I read thrillers, crimes, horror. But this year, when I've started with fantasy, I've read so much of it in such a short time that it's just drawn me in to where I'm at now. Don't get me wrong, I've not forgotten about all the other stuff. I still enjoy that profusely, but fantasy, it just takes you on a different path, doesn't it, and a different journey, and it's such a vast scope of literature that you can go a series, you can go a standalone, you can go an indie. It's just so much to pick from. I
Yeah,
don't think I'll live long enough to finish everything that I've got.
I know. I know. I mean, I
You're
just. I
23.
was about to say I just
You've
turned
got
23 10 days ago. So
you've got all the time in the world. I'm knocking on the door of 50, like, hello. No.
um yeah, I also really enjoy, like, do you like, are you more like noir, or do you like, more
Mm.
like Agatha Christie?
Oh, I love Agatha Christie. I was
Oh,
brought
okay.
up on Agatha Christie. But yeah, noir. Yeah, love noir. Love steampunk. Love anything gothic, anything that's got a gothic element to it. Um, yeah, anything like that floats my boat.
So,
Yeah.
like, what are some, like, horror stuff that you like?
Stephen King,
Stephen King? All right,
the
yeah.
master, Stephen King. Then Dean Koontz. Then I can't think of his name right now, but he wrote the book Hidden Pictures, which is a fantastic book. The twist in that is amazing. I'm usually pretty good at picking up on twists in books, but that one completely passed me by. Didn't see it. Um, one of them where you go like that with the book and you go, "What did I just read?" It was superb. Um, but yeah, I grew up with Agatha Christie. My mother was a massive Agatha Christie fan, both book and film, so I grew up with those. Then my dad was the fantasy guy. My dad was Sinbad and um, that side of things. So I grew up with Agatha Christie, Stephen King, um, just loads of different authors. And I started, nipping into them as I was younger. So it all started there, really.
Yeah, no, like, what crime books do you like? Well, aside from Agatha Christie.
Please don't judge me. I like James Patterson.
Oh.
Hmm.
Hmm.
I do. I like James
Hmm.
Patterson because his writing style is just so easy. You can fly through a book, depending on the time you've got. So, me, for instance, I'm quite a fast reader. Put it this way, I read Legends and Lattes in 7 hours. So, I'm quite a fast reader.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like a 200 page book, 300 page book, I'm done in a day. So, James Patterson, but the style that he writes in, it's so fluid. It's just so easy to read. There's no vocabulary checks where you're picking up a dictionary. There's nothing like that. But it's just fast paced. And my favourite's a Women's Murder Club. And I think there's 23 and a half so far in the series. In the hallway is my entire collection of crime, etc. This is all fantasy,
Mm.
crime, everything's in there. So I've got the whole collection. I've just left crime alone for a little bit now while I do fantasy, but I'll
Yeah,
go back to it.
yeah, I hear you. I skip around from genres, which
Mm.
is one of the reasons
Are
why.
you a mood reader?
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah, it depends. Like, I'm weird because like there are books like I'm like, okay, this month I'm gonna read this book. I don't know when I'm gonna do it, but I'm gonna do it.
Mm.
So it's kind of how
Yeah.
it
See, I
works.
set I set myself up. Excuse me. I set myself up for a TBR. Excuse me. This month, thinking I was being clever. Did they pick them out of the pot? Yeah, I'm a mood reader. I struggle. I really struggle to do it. Like I started Guy Gavriel Kay, but I just weren't. I wasn't in the right place for it, so I moved on because I don't want to not enjoy the author's work. I'd rather move on and come back. So I did it that way. I just moved on.
Yeah, no, I hear you. I'm though I have a harder time quitting books. There are some books I've
Yeah.
gone. I don't really DNF. I do to
Mm.
be read later.
Yes. Yes. I do exactly the same. I don't think have I DNF'd anything. No, I don't think I have. Definitely not to not go back to anyway. No, no, I haven't. I don't DNF because I have this fear that I'll miss out on something.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Like I
Yeah.
tried reading The Girl Who Loved Tom Gordon in 2020, and
Okay.
then COVID attacked, and I
Mm.
got really depressed,
Mm.
and it sucked. So I had to put it
Yeah.
down. I haven't read it
Yeah.
since, even though I
Yeah.
like Stephen King.
Oh, Stephen King.
It's a Stephen King book.
Just a genius of a man.
Yes,
They're all up
he's
there.
very good.
Oh, go there. If it bleeds. Oh, let me see. If it bleeds. Fairy Tale. Did you like Fairy Tale?
I haven't read much of his. I haven't read like his really recent stuff.
Right. Fairy Tale's an odd one. Uh, it's good, but then it kind of dips off.
My friend
It's a
Colin
little.
and I talked about it back in
Mm.
October, so that was.
I've got it right here. I'm only halfway through, but I read it years and years and years ago. It's my believe it or not, it is my palate cleanser.
Mm.
So yeah, I know that sounds bizarre, but when I'm getting to the point where everything else is sort of getting a bit much, I'll jump back to it and I'll do a chapter, and I feel good to go again then.
I know what you mean. My palate cleansers are weird. Like I like The Great Gatsby.
Mm,
That's a good one. It's like 180
yeah,
pages. It's a good
yeah.
read. You can just like
I know exactly what you mean. That's how I felt. I'm not saying it yet because my daughter's apparently meant to be reading it, and we're going to review it together. But that's how I felt about Legends and Lattes.
Mm.
Just a nice little, ha ha ha, kind of. Oh, I liked that. That was cute.
Yeah, I've heard that one's good.
Mm.
No,
Mm. I wasn't going to read it because of the hype. I'm a little bit one of those people where I'm a bit like,
you're sussed out by the hype. I hear you.
yeah, I don't like to follow like a like the crowd. I like to be a unique type person. Saying that, I've bought everything that every single booktuber has reviewed, but I don't like to do what the crowd's doing. I'd rather wait till it dies off and then we'll talk about it. But yeah, Legends and Lattes is worth the hype. It's good.
You also, oh yeah, you also picked up a McCarthy book. You picked up Outer Dark.
Mhm.
I'm
Yeah.
hopefully gonna read that all the way in October. I don't know when
Mm.
I don't know when, because
Yeah.
October is when I just pig out on horror. Well, I do read horror before
Yes.
October, but um, October is really the month where I just pig out on on
I'm looking
horror,
forward to it.
the
Yeah,
horror
I'm looking forward to
reads.
that. Mm.
I just go in both feet.
Mm. I'm looking forward to that for October. just reading nothing but horror.
Yeah, it's a good time. Like there are a couple though I've been meaning to read. I just haven't gotten to it yet. Like I saw the film version of The Ritual a few years ago. I just haven't read the book yet.
Anthony Hopkins?
What?
No, that's The Rite. The Ritual. See, I'm a huge horror film buff.
Mm-hmm.
That's there's a new horror film, I'm on it.
It's one about
The
those guys
Ritual.
walking around in the woods and they end up meeting like this cult.
Do you know what? I've probably seen it, but I've watched that much horror.
I was about to say it's
They are
a British movie.
okay. I bet I've seen it. I bet I just don't remember it. Have you seen The Rite? R-I-T-E.
I don't like demon possession films.
Okay.
Sprays Christian. They
Right.
they really drill that into you.
Mm-hmm.
And also, I'm not one of those edge lords, who's like, "Oh, demons, cool." Yeah, I don't like it.
Yeah,
I have
it's
seen The
good in the
Exorcist though, and I'm like,
yeah.
that was a pretty damn good movie.
Mm,
It's pretty scary, but it's a pretty good movie.
yeah, yeah. See, the sad thing is, in the UK, Halloween, etc., isn't as big a thing as it is in America, and that makes me very, very sad. We're starting to get there slowly but surely, but we're nowhere near, nowhere near. And I love Halloween. This is what Audrey 2 over here is. I don't know if she's ever been seen on any of my videos, but I made her for one Halloween, not last year's, the years before. I practically made every
Is that a
single
reference
decoration
to
of
Little
that.
Shop of Horrors?
Audrey 2.
Oh, I love that film. Are you talking about the musical or like the really old one? Oh, look at that.
I made her. That's paper mache.
Oh, yeah, I like
Yeah.
that. Yeah, that's one of my childhood movies. My parents
Oh, it's a
really
great
love.
film.
Are you talking about the 80s one?
Yes.
Very good.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've ever
Yeah, but
seen the original from the
yes,
early
I have.
60s. That's a weird one.
Yeah, very. It's
Dude,
Jack
the
Nicholson in
Audrey
it.
2 actor sounds like he's passing kidney
Yeah,
stones while he's
yeah, it's weird.
he's
Yeah,
like
it doesn't have
yelling.
the same,
It's
not the
really
same vibe.
Jack Nicholson's in it. You're like, what?
Yeah,
Like one of his
yeah,
early roles. You're like, what?
yeah. It's nowhere. I mean, Steve Martin is superb
Oh my
in
god,
Little
yeah.
Shop of Horrors. Yeah.
I go to my dentist, and when I'm heading back, I'll be listening to "You'll Be a Dentist."
That's brilliant.
I love it.
Oh, it's a
Though
great film.
luckily, my dentist is a very lovely man. We're hopefully gonna see him on Thursday.
Can you imagine
for his
if
birthday.
you walked in and
Oh
that's
my-
who it was?
And he's he's a freaking maniac like Steve Martin. Yeah, I'll watch.
Yeah.
I'll be like, that's a man who loves his job. Like,
Oh yeah, yeah. A little bit too much, man.
yeah. Though it is hilarious when Bill Murray shows up.
Uh-huh.
He's
Oh,
like,
I
"You
love
get
Bill
out of here!"
Murray. Oh,
Oh,
it's so funny.
I
Yeah,
love
it's
that.
so funny. And when you mentioned about Blazing Saddles,
Oh yeah, that's a classic. My parents.
I couldn't get that out
It's
of my
one of
head
those
then.
weird movies that like people like that film for the wrong reasons.
Mhm.
Because like I'll hear people be like, "Oh, they'd never get away with it nowadays," and I'm like, well,
There's a lot of films like that, though. Really, I mean,
well.
if you think about it,
But like when they say that, it seems
realistically,
like they're like it's like they don't get that they're poking fun at racism.
Mm. Yeah, they don't mean it. It's meant to be kind of funny,
Look
as
how
in the
stupid
context
these
of
people are.
yeah, we are not like pointing
Like
at
that's the
it.
whole punchline of the
We're
movie.
kind
They're
of
trying
making
to
fun at you for being one. That's the gist of it.
still have yet to
Yeah,
see Young Frankenstein though.
yeah, I don't think I've seen that.
Really? Well,
Mm.
it's one of his.
I do love a good Mel Brooks film. I like Dracula Dead and Loving It,
I love Spaceballs.
Robin
Oh,
Hood Men in Tights.
I saw that with my grandma. I have very definite memories of seeing it with my grandmother.
Did your grandma enjoy it?
She did, if I remember right. She
Oh,
did,
okay.
which kind of shocks me. 'Cause she's kind of like that, like little sweet old lady, Doesn't like curse words usually.
Yeah. Yeah, I would have thought that, she might have frowned upon that. I'm like, oh, that's a cool grammar.
Yeah, no. I remember we also watched Forrest Gump a lot because I don't care. I love that
Mm.
movie.
See, I've been asked this question a few times. If you had to say one actor, who is your most favourite actor ever, it would always forever be Tom Hanks.
Yeah,
Because you
he's
take
great.
a man and he can hold a film for close to 2 hours on his own, talking to a ball. That's acting.
Mm.
So, yeah. Him and Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yeah, I actually saw Killers of the Flower Moon a while back, and I thought Leo was one of the better parts of that movie.
Mm. Shutter Island is my favourite.
Yeah, that's based off a Dennis Lehane novel. He's one of my
Mm.
he's probably my favorite crime writer.
That's a fantastic film. And it's still to this, I don't know, oh, I must have seen it, 14, 15 times? And still to this day, I have no idea. Is he mad or is he not? I'm constantly asking myself the question. Is he? Isn't he? Does he know? Does he not know? It's brilliant. Brilliantly done. Brilliantly done.
Yeah, it's a good one. It's a good one.
I need to read the book. I've never read the book. I need to read the book.
It's pretty good. If I
Mm,
remember, it's been a while since I've read it, but I think the film is very close. So,
right. Yeah, I need to read that book.
um, but yeah, I like Lahane a lot.
Mm,
His Kinsey and Gennaro series is very good, and unlike other
okay.
crime sagas that can sometimes even go into the 50s,
Mm.
it's only 6 books, and
All right, okay.
yeah, they're digestible.
Mm.
Also,
Yeah,
Mystic.
6 isn't bad.
What?
6, that's not bad.
No, it's not.
Mm.
It's very good,
It's
actually.
doable. It's doable. See, I wanted to get into Dresden because I read it on the Kindle, a little section of it anyway. And then I found out how many books there were. And I know they're not big, but I was just like, oh, this is the problem with reading fantasy is the series is. So we start getting into realms of, we're doing this series, then we're doing that series. And then you have to call it a day at some point and go, right, okay, this is how many series I'm doing. I'm not doing any more until I've done them.
Yeah, I know what you mean. God, it's funny you were talking about horror movies. I'm doing on my Facebook, which I'm not gonna reveal, but on my Facebook, I'm doing a 15 horror movies that I can't live without at the
Okay.
moment. So
Okay.
every day until we get to 15
Oh.
anyway. So yeah.
See, I don't have Facebook, so you're going to have to tell me after.
Um, my number one, of course, is The Thing because that's my favorite horror movie of all time.
Oh, okay.
Even though I generally don't like body horror, that one is my favorite.
Mm,
Goes down to the fact that it still creeps me out even all these years later.
today. Mm. See, I was raised on horror films.
hmm
And I mean, I'm talking literally raised on horror films. My mother had me watching horror films at the age of 5.
Watch like Hellraiser.
Yep. Oh, it's my favourite. Pinhead is my favourite. But yeah, so I'm numb. I'm numb to it. It would take something. The only person who's come close is his name's gone again. Conjuring, Insidious.
Really? Well,
James Wan.
yeah.
James Wan. James Wan comes close. But I don't consider them horror. I consider them psychological thriller. Yes, there's horror elements, but to me, they're more psychological thriller because to me, a horror is horror. I want gore, like Saw. I want gore, full blown. Bleh. That's what I want. But growing up, yeah, I saw everything. Children of the Corn, um, Hellraiser, Nightmare on Elm Street, Jason, everything.
You
So
may
I'm
like
numb.
you may like Stephen Graham Jones if you like
Mm-hmm.
those movies. He did The Only Good
Okay.
Indians, which I thought was great. Um,
Okay.
kind of ends on a whimper, but I think it's a great book. Like it did not do what I thought it would do, so
Right.
I think that counts for
So
something.
it gave you a twist.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Stephen Graham Jones.
I haven't read his My Heart is a Chainsaw, but I did read
Oh,
Mongrels.
now I know what you mean. Right, that's in my basket. That's in my Amazon basket.
I also read Mongrels because I'm a big werewolf fan. Also, An American Werewolf in London was on that list of film horror movies I can't live without.
Oh, okay.
Because I love that movie. But anyway,
Mm.
um, that was really good.
This is who John's read recently, isn't it?
He
John
did
Minton.
read him. Yes, he did read.
Yeah,
He did
and
read My Heart is a Chainsaw.
Marbury. Oh, what's his first name? Marbury.
Jonathan Marbury.
Jonathan Marbury.
Yeah, I read Kagan the Damned from him
Yeah.
in January.
Mm.
That was an interesting experience. I had always wanted to see like a Lovecraftian like fantasy story.
Mm.
Finally got it because like it's weird.
Oh, okay.
Like Lovecraft's writing, I kind of diss on, but like the creatures and the mythos he made, I like that. So
Like Cthulhu.
I'm like, this would be fun to see in like a fantasy setting, and Marbury finally did it. I mean, maybe if someone else did it, but I don't know who that would be. But he did, and I really enjoyed that part of the story.
Nice.
It is very graphic, though. So,
your version of graphic and mine are probably very different. Graphic to me, it's got to be shocking. It's got to be eye peeling for me to find it graphic.
I was about to say. I mean, I'm sure I'll be fine. And I guess it's a lot of rape. Oh my god.
There generally is in the world in general. So I mean,
know it's. I look. I like
sadly,
it didn't, look. It didn't like. It didn't. Now I'll admit, I do have a. I am not squeamish to these things, but that does not mean I enjoy reading about them.
no. I mean, who does? No, no. There's a difference, isn't there, between knowing that this happens and how can I put this? I don't want to say the words that are in my head, but enjoying it, there's a difference. I don't personally either enjoy reading a rape. Hello, kitty. But I don't know how you talk about it without making yourself sound like a psychopath.
I know.
It's like how I enjoy reading about a serial killer.
Mm-hmm.
But how am I meant to word that without sounding kind of sick and twisted?
Yeah,
I just find it interesting. All we can say is interesting. There's nothing about rape that's interesting. It's just
going to see the Riverman's really good. I feel like
I've got that coming.
So yeah. Also,
yeah, you told me about that one, and it's coming.
Also, oh yes. Speaking of Dennis Lehane, I mean his Kinsey and Gennaro "Darkness Take My Hand" has a serial killer in it, and that's probably the best one of that series. So, my favorite one anyway. So I don't know. I like that.
Dennis Lehane, I think. Yeah, they're definitely in my basket, in my Amazon basket.
Yes, I do need to read along the God damn it, what's that? What's the sequel of Gone to See the Riverman?
We spoke about this, didn't we?
Yeah, I was about to say we were talking about this the other day. I think it's Along the River of Flesh. That's what I think it's called. So I think we might actually read that together at some point. I don't know when that's going to happen, but
well, I've got the first one you said that's coming. Should be here Thursday. Because I did say to you, what we'll do is I'll get in front, I'll read that, and then we'll be at the same spot then.
Yeah, then hit me up when you get to.
Like a day and a half.
Just hit me up and be like, all right, get Along the River of Flesh, and we'll read it. Yeah. I'll be like, okay, there we go.
Yeah. The two sickos together will talk about sick books.
Just title it, Two Sickos Talking About Along the River of Flesh.
Yeah. The other sickos out there that want to join us, then jump in.
I also read another book from Triana called A Cold Place for Dying, which was fine. So there were some grammatical errors in there, but aside from that, it was pretty good.
Yeah, that's the thing I pick up on, and I kind of go, ugh, ugh.
Now it doesn't break
You've
the
double.
book where I go like, oh,
No,
there's a misspelling. It's a 1 star. I'm done. DNF. Oh,
yeah, I'd never do that.
yeah, I'm
Never
not
do
doing
that. It
that.
just
But
kind of spoils me flow
yeah, a little
because
bit.
then
I'm
I've
like,
spotted it.
yeah, taking some points off for that. The editor didn't catch
It just
that.
spoils my natural flow then, and then I'm like, because I've spotted it, I'll go back and I'll go, did I spot it? Did I not spot it? And then I'm like, yeah, I did spot it. Oh, right, okay, never mind.
I think Triana's a fantastic writer, though. Good.
Mm.
I don't read a lot of splatterpunk because I don't really like.
Do you know? Oh, because I was going to tell you about someone who I found.
I should
I
say
thought
I
you might have
don't
been
read a
interested
lot
in.
of it, but I am not against reading it because Christopher
Okay,
Triana is technically a splatterpunk author, and he's very good. I also
right.
like Joe R. Lansdale a lot.
I don't know if you'll want me to put this book on your channel because of the cover, but it was the cover that enticed me to get it.
Well, what is it?
I'll show you.
Oh no.
Do I know how to lead in or what? I'll show you.
You should like have a whole show. You're dressed up as like Elvira or something.
I know.
Psycho Bitches by Riley Wood.
Rick Wood.
Rick Wood.
Mm.
I'm sorry, it was a little blurry.
No, it's okay. I think he's independent because it seems like his
Looks kind of
publishing house is under his
80s a
name.
little bit.
Oh, doesn't it?
Yeah.
They're all every single book is like that. They're all on Amazon, and it just drew me in because I thought that's an 80s horror. That reminded me of Freddy, not Freddy, Jason.
I'll admit,
You know, Camp Crystal Lake.
I'm a little on and off with slasher movies.
Oh, like a good slasher.
There's like the good ones, like the original Nightmare on Elm Street, Halloween. I guess The Strangers is technically a slasher movie, but yeah, whatever.
In a way. Yeah, in a way.
Um, uh, but
Love a
some of
good
them
slasher.
just
Scream.
get really ridiculous.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, but that's the point. Because they're funny then.
Though,
You know, at Camp Crystal Lake, them naughty teenagers can't be having sex.
yeah,
Because
like
Jason is just going to stab you to death.
it's funny because there's this one of my favorite Jason kills is when he runs over to the guy in like that little like what is it the little like sack you sleep in, picks him up
Oh,
and
yeah.
just slaps him on the tree. Like,
Oh, have you seen the game then? Friday the 13th, the game?
oh yeah, I've seen a little bit of
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. There's a YouTuber called Delirious who I watch playing that. It's hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. That lasted for about 6 months, me watching the playthroughs of that. It's so funny. So funny.
Yeah, but yeah, some of them kind of get a little ridiculous after a while. Which I know that's
But
kind of
that's
the
the point.
point, but
Yeah. They're
oh
very
yeah,
80s.
Scream's a great movie.
Yeah, Scream.
I do love Scream.
And Scream the series on Netflix was quite good.
I hadn't seen that.
Yeah, it wasn't bad.
Yeah.
And that's Scream Queens. That wasn't too bad either. That was ridiculous, but it was meant to be.
Also,
Jamie Lee Curtis was in that.
well, like I said, you may like Stephen Graham Jones if you like slasher content.
I wrote him down. But if you're saying Stephen Graham Jones is My Heart is a Chainsaw, I have that in my basket in Amazon.
Yeah, I haven't read that one yet. I have it over there, but I don't, haven't read it
Yeah.
yet.
Yeah, definitely gonna read that.
What's another horror author I like? Victor LaValle. I like him a lot. Though he's
Okay.
more it's weird. He's very Gaiman in some aspects, like The Changeling,
Okay.
which is well, not his most recent. His most recent was Lone Women. But The
Right.
Changeling is very Gaiman-esque,
Hmm.
I thought. You may like that one because you liked American Gods a lot.
Yeah, I've wrote it down. I'll have a look.
I really enjoyed The Devil in Silver, which takes place in a mental hospital, so that was really good.
Say the word asylum to me, and I'm in.
Well, I mean, it's not technically an asylum. It's like it's like One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest a little bit.
Oh, okay.
There's a creature walking around, or maybe it's a creature, maybe it's not. It's
okay.
There's a lot of. It's left up to the audience's interpretation. You know how it is.
Yeah. I like me some good madness.
Ballad of Black Tom is pretty good if you like something pulpier.
Hmm.
It's very Lovecraftian inspired, so
Okay.
it's about a lot of the racism in Lovecraft's work, which
Right.
is there. It's there.
Hmm.
It's unavoidable.
Hmm. Well, yeah, I suppose for the time period that we're talking, it's not fun though, is it?
No, no, no. They even I remember there was a little fight a few years ago at the World Fantasy Award because the World Fantasy Award statue was just a little caricature of him,
All
and they
right.
gave it to him, and some people got offended. Understandably, I mean,
Hmm.
he made a poem about the creation of N words. You can
Oh,
find
did he
that.
now?
You can find that
Hmm.
if for the morbidly curious.
I'd really rather not.
Um. Yeah.
I feel a bit shit now for buying that book.
Oh, I mean, there's some good stuff in there. I mean, I think the color out of space is a pretty good story.
Hmm.
Out of his.
See, if I come across anything like that, it's not in a particular way, like Kindred, I'm gonna go, no, not for no, because it's just gonna rile me. Anything like that, it just makes me angry. So I mean, racism, sexism, anything like that, nah.
Lovecraft was also just a weird guy.
Hmm.
Kind of just a weird man. He didn't really get up, or he didn't really get out of his house very often. I mean, he did
I'll let you
travel
know
around,
how I get on with it.
but I don't want to scare you away from reading Lovecraft. I don't want to scare people away from reading stuff. D? Oh no, seems we've paused here for a moment.
There we go.
Oh, there you are.
Lost you then for a sec.
You paused for a moment. I'm like, oh no, she's paused.
How was I? Did I have a decent face, or was I?
No, 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 you're fine. You were just kind of like,
Okay.
But I was trying to say, I don't know if you heard this, but I was just
No, it went.
saying,
Uh, it, uh. No.
uh, what I was saying was, I don't want to scare people away from reading stuff.
Mm.
So, I mean, if you want to read Lovecraft, go ahead.
Yeah, of course.
Because I mean,
If you,
he's kind of like how Tolkien or Robert E. Howard is, who was actually a friend of H.P. Lovecraft, is for the
mm.
fantasy genre. Like, you can't ignore his impact. Though personally, I prefer Poe, Edgar Allan Poe.
Yes.
Actually, just recently got a deal for a
Oh.
for this book right here. It's a little nonfiction book
Oh, I like that
about
cover.
Edgar Allan Poe's death. I got this for 50% off. It was
Oh.
really nice.
I want to go back to the original House of Usher and read that.
It's a great story. Yeah, it's
Mm.
really my favorite is still Telltale Heart because that was one
Mm.
I read when I was a kid and I was like, oh, that was a.
Am I right in thinking that that's the ticking heart,
It's the one where the
pulsing
guy.
heart?
It's the one where the guy thinks he hears the dude's heartbeat in the floor after he
Yeah.
buried him.
Yeah.
Fun stuff. Edgar Allan Poe.
Mm-hmm.
He was a very stable, upstanding,
Of course he was.
sane individual.
No issues whatsoever. Medication? No, he didn't need medication. He was fine.
He just drank and ended up dying mysteriously. He wasn't even in his own
Mm.
clothes.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's only 40,
Oh.
unfortunately.
Oh, that's sad.
Yeah, it sucks because he's great.
All talent seems to die very young,
Yeah, like
way
John
before the
Keats
time.
died when he was like 25. I was like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Heath Ledger died after he played the Joker. That was pretty.
Don't
That was
even
pretty.
get me started. Don't. Because I was never a Batman fan
You,
until I watched Heath Ledger play Joker.
Yeah, I,
Nobody.
I actually remember him from a movie called The Patriot, which is one of my
Mm.
favorite guilty pleasure films of all time.
I remember seeing him hit in A Knight's Tale,
Oh yeah, it's a lot of fun. I enjoy that movie.
and Brokeback Mountain.
It's a good one. Yeah.
I thought that film was amazing. Amazing. But Heath Ledger is Joker.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that. I'm stamping that officially in the world of D. Heath Ledger is Joker. No discredit to, I don't know how you say his first name, Joaquin Phoenix.
And pronounce it Joaquin.
Joaquin Phoenix. No discredit to him, but no. Heath Ledger's just the guy.
I do like Jack Nicholson a lot too, because I was a big fan
Very
of.
cartoony though.
Oh, but you kind of need that when you're playing the Joker a little bit.
Mm, yeah, maybe. I liked him dark.
He was dark in the '89 movie.
Yeah.
He gave him those hideous grins. Like that's pretty scary.
Well, yeah, that's true. Yeah.
That's
He's
pretty
got a
scary.
great face for it. Mm.
I do love the scene when he's first introduced and he's talking to Jack Palance and he's like,
Mm.
Jack is dead. Call
He's got a
me
great voice.
Joker.
Great voice.
And as you can see, I'm a lot happier. And then he just fucking shoots him. They just start. I'm like, yep, there you go.
Yeah.
It's great. But no,
Yeah.
Dark Knight is probably my favorite superhero film of all time.
Yes, it's good. Now, we may fall out here because I do find that as the films progress, oh, I'm terrible at this age for names. American Psycho. Who plays Batman? What's his name?
Oh, Christian Bale? Yeah.
Christian Bale. I do find that his lisp gets more and more predominant as we go along, and the voice gets deeper and deeper and deeper, and we end up talking like this. And it gets a bit much.
I'll admit I'll admit I had some issues with his Batman.
Mm-hmm.
But then
Robert
again,
Pattinson was an amazing Batman.
oh yeah, he was great. I mean, I have a tattoo of Batman on my leg, so I mean,
Oh, nice.
I'm very biased on this. I'm a very big fan of Batman.
Oh, give me original cartoon Batman every day of the week. Cow, pow, bash, bing. Yeah. Give me the
Yeah.
good stuff.
I do love the animated series though. I have it down there.
But this is why I say about Neil Gaiman. He has done a Batman comic, hasn't he?
Yes, he has. Mm-hmm.
And I want to find it and I want to read it.
It's a great one. Whatever happened to the Caped Crusader?
I'm very interested in that.
Yeah, he's written a couple comics. He wrote The Sandman, which is one of my favorite comics.
I know,
of all
saw
time.
that.
They recently did an adaptation, which was fantastic.
Oh, really?
I thought it was fantastic, though. It's really good. I like it
Yes,
a lot.
Neil Gaiman and Batman sounds like a combination.
I would have loved to see
You
him
just
do a
want.
full run. I think he would have done some interesting stuff on there, but he's doing his own Neil Gaiman stuff now.
Yeah.
Like he's doing Good Omens right now, I think.
Which I loved.
I haven't seen Good Omens. I read the
David Tennant, brilliant.
I do love me some David Tennant. I love Doctor Who, so
The best Doctor Who ever. Sorry, I'm very biased, but he is.
I can't disagree with that. I have a soft spot for Eccleston though. I do wish we had more time with Eccleston, but oh well. At least we got Tennant, and Tennant was great.
Yeah. He actually made me watch Doctor Who. I never bothered with Doctor Who before that. He made me watch it.
There's been a bunch of other stuff. I recently watched the newer DuckTales show, and he was Uncle Scrooge in that one.
My daughter told me that the other day. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, yeah, and he just does the whole Scottish inflection. He just exaggerates. It's great. I enjoy it.
Yeah.
It's pretty good. I love him as Uncle Scrooge.
Yeah, well, that's his actual accent, isn't it?
I think it is, except it's a little
he's actually Scottish. Yeah, it's very, very mild, obviously. I think eventually actors start to lose their twang the more accents they do.
Yeah, I was a little shell-shocked when I heard his actual accent for the first time, because I'm used to him in Doctor Who. And I'm like, oh!
Yeah. Oh, yes, he's Scottish.
Also, I watched him do Hamlet a few years ago.
Oh, okay.
He was fantastic in that.
I imagine.
He brought.
I watched him play Oh, Dennis. Oh,
Oh, I
it
mean
was a
that serial
British.
killer? I mean that serial killer guy?
Yeah,
Yeah, I saw a little bit of that.
yeah. That was amazing. The acting in that was superb. Superb. Brilliant. He's a brilliant actor.
You know, it was funny. I was actually talking with a guy the other day about serial killers, and little fun little
We're back here again, aren't we? It's my
back.
influence. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and he was like, "Oh man, you know William Hale and these other random guys I had never heard of. Like those are the
Hmm.
worst serial killers ever." And I'm like, I don't know. Richard Ramirez, I think, was pure
Yeah, Rick.
evil as far as I was concerned. And he's
Hmm.
like, this is why people. Here's what he said to me. This fucking asshole. This guy's a
Don't
prick.
mince your words, Britton. Say it as it
He's
is.
a smart guy, but he's a prick. Smart ass too. Let me find where he.
Oh,
Let me
okay.
see. Let me find his response. He said, This is why people turn off their comments section. I'm like, you bastard. Anyway,
Oh.
but yeah, I'm like, yeah, Richard Ramirez for me is like, yeah, that's pure evil. I just get like disgusting, vibes when I
Hmm.
see his face.
Okay. See, for me, it would be Albert Fish.
Yeah, that's good. That's a good
Um.
choice.
Mm. Yeah, I mean, I
Like
don't know
we should like
why.
make cards of
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
cards of
Top
killers.
Trumps. Top Trump's version of serial killers. That probably exists, actually, to be fair.
Um,
Probably here, anyway, in the UK. I bet I could find that.
you know
What a
what's freaky? I share a
strange lot.
birthday with the BT gay killer.
Do you?
March 9th.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was weird. Yeah, it's yeah, I had a friend who's from Kansas, where he was from. Well,
Mm-hmm.
kind of near that area, and she told us what it was like, living there during that time. It's
Mm,
freaky.
I cannot imagine.
Yeah, like he
I mean, they're very similar, aren't they, when you compare Jeffrey Dahmer with the BTK? Not in what they did, but in the respect that they both admitted to what they did. But I don't know. They're both as bad as each other. They're both horrendous and heinous crimes. But there was just something about the way the BTK was going on about it, saying, I don't know just how matter of factly he was saying it.
yeah. Um,
It threw me. I thought, there's no compassion. There's nothing there. There's no remorse. There's no compassion. It's just, I don't know.
yeah, though with Dahmer, you get a look at the guy and you're like, yeah, he looks a little sus. I probably wouldn't hang out with
Mm.
that guy.
I'd probably give him a second thought, like, really?
I especially he would target people like me. For some reason, gay men hit on me all the time, and God help me if I ran into him.
Mm.
I probably wouldn't have gone home with him because I'm not homosexual. But
Yeah, but I think he just had a charm about him, didn't he? And he managed to, in whatever way, coerce them to come with him. But he was an evil piece of shit anyway. So.
yeah, he got killed in jail actually
Hmm.
by some like by some crazy.
At the show where Peter Evans played him, that's the best acting I've ever seen Peter Evans do. It was
Um,
brilliant.
what? There's a comic I read called My Friend Dahmer, written by a guy who actually went to
Mm,
high school with him. That was freaky.
mm,
It was a great one though. It was great. No,
mm.
if you like, I mean, if you don't mind comics and reading like like a picture book,
No, that's all.
or
No, my,
comics,
my daughter's very much trying to get me into manga.
um, yeah, manga. I'm more of an American comics fan, but there's some good
Mm.
manga there. There's some good manga from time to time.
She reads Demon Slayer and Tokyo Ghoul.
I haven't read those, but I've heard good things.
So she's trying to convince me.
Um,
We'll see.
but My Friend Dahmer, recommend that if you're interested
Mm.
in since you're interested in
Yeah, I
serial
probably
killers.
will.
Um,
Probably will.
I don't know if I mean who. I also have God, what's that? I have it right over here. Let me get it. Oh yeah, I'll Be Gone in the Dark. I've been wanting to read that because
Oh, okay.
it's about the Golden State Killer, and
Oh, right.
Michelle McNamara wrote.
Hmm.
Uh, Basically, she was like an amateur kind of. I don't know what's a. I don't want to say enthusiast because that sounds wrong, but um,
I do know what you mean because I would consider myself to be that.
but she just got really fascinated in this case, and
Hmm.
eventually her research paid off because they finally caught
Hmm.
the guy. Um, but yeah, that book was about how she kind of compiled all this stuff together.
Yeah.
Still need to
There's
read it.
an awful lot of people that do that about Jack the Ripper. An awful lot.
Yeah, Ripperology has become its own thing.
Mm.
I stay out of
Which is
that because I'll admit
another one that fascinates me. I'd love to
um
solve it.
I don't I try to stay away from that because like I'm a pretty obsessive person, so
Mm.
I feel if I if I
Probably
can
best.
if I open that door, I'll just be
Hmm.
consumed.
Oh, it's a wormhole. It's a wormhole that you can get lost in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I actually read In Cold Blood recently with my friend Colin, and I
Hmm.
don't know when we're gonna cover that, but that was a good book. That was more about the futility of criminal acts.
Mm. Yes. You can get lost down a wormhole with it all.
Also, kind of the first real true crime book, I guess, in some ways.
Oh,
One of
okay.
the first. Um, also read
Yeah, I've read a few. Mm,
Homicide last year by David Simon, who did The
okay.
Wire.
Oh, yeah.
It was a very good book.
Mm.
Um, yeah,
Mm.
there's a lot of scary people out there.
Very much so.
Though, okay, it's kind of tough when you're talking about most evil serial killers because, I mean, Richard
Oh, they
Ramirez
all
is
are.
kind of. I mean, they all are, but like, they're all really bad guys, but you're just like, there's like that level of heinousness.
Mm, I know what you mean.
I don't know. Albert Fish
How
is
far are
up
you
there
prepared
though.
to go with what you do?
Like Albert Fish is up there though. Like legit,
Mm-hmm.
that guy was a maniac.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. He certainly had an acquired taste.
My God. Yeah,
Well, he
that's one
did.
way of putting it. Oh, there's this other book I got called The Devil in the White City, which is about World Fair, but also H. Holmes, who was also
Oh, now there's another one.
who's another
Mm.
very upstanding, sane,
Oh, absolutely.
very well adjusted
I think he'd have
individual.
been very good at the Rubik's Cube.
Yes, I think so. Yeah, he
The way his
really
mind
he had a
works.
passion for entertaining people.
Mm-hmm. That's why I love American Horror Stories because that's what they delve into is the history, obviously, of America. And Hotel Cortez focuses somewhat on H. Holmes.
Yeah, I've never really gotten into American Horror Story.
It's freaky,
It's
but
kind of it's kind of soapy to me. Seems
mm-hmm.
kind of soapy.
I, I, I very much enjoy them. Gotta be honest.
I mean, hey, I'm not shaming you. I'm just saying it's not really. I don't know. It's just kind of.
Sure, I don't care. I love American Horror Story, so
I
I'm
mean,
gonna watch it.
I don't want to.
It's got worse, but
I don't know.
it kind of it ended for me. American Horror Story at let me see, the cult.
Oh yeah, yeah. I think they
Yeah,
did one
and
on
everything after
Roanoke.
that.
They did one in an asylum.
Mm-hmm.
Did it
Yeah,
another one with Lady Gaga, I think.
yeah. That's the Hotel Cortez.
Oh,
In fact, she's been in two. She was in Hotel Cortez and Roanoke.
yeah. I've noticed that Ryan Murphy's pretty obsessed with serial killers
Mm-hmm.
for some reason.
Yeah,
I think there's that dark curiosity, I guess. I don't know.
that's what it is. That's what it is. It's dark curiosity. It's not because you want to do it, or at least not for
Oh.
me. Um, it is just a morbid curiosity. That why would somebody think that way?
Did you ever hear about the Iceman?
No, I don't think so.
Richard Kuklinski?
No.
He's a contract killer.
Oh,
Big
explain
dude.
to me a bit more.
Well, they called him the Iceman because he would stuff his. He would try to throw the cops off by stuffing victims into a freezer because that would like keep the body intact.
Okay. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, really,
Hmm.
really freaky, really interesting story because like he had a wife, he had two kids, and he
Like BTK.
now I mean I won't pretend he wasn't like it's like oh he was a good old boy when he was around him, but they never suspected he did anything like that
Mm.
when they caught
Mm.
him.
I don't think I have now.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
it's a freaky one. It's kind of like
right.
BTK, you know. You're like
Mm.
he had this normal life, and then turned
Yep.
out, oh, this guy's a psychotic.
Yep. Those are the most surprising because how do you hold down that lifestyle and do what you're doing?
Ted Bundy's also really freaky because he was,
Yeah, I think Ted Bundy's freaky in the sense that he wanted to defend himself and made a really
yeah.
hash job of it.
Did he not know anything about what Abraham Lincoln said?
Yeah.
Abraham Lincoln said, "A man who represents himself has a fool for a client."
Mhm. Yeah, and
Good job, buddy. You got
well
executed.
done. You know, you got what you deserve. So I mean, hey.
Yeah, though he actually escaped a few times. That's pretty freaky.
Mm. That's very egotistical, though, isn't it? Of who he was. I'll defend myself. Okay, you do that.
Yeah, but you think Albert Fish is the most evil?
No, not the most evil, but I mean, you know, he's up there. Um, most evil. Holmes is pretty bad.
Yeah,
Um,
he had a literal house of horrors. I mean, like, come
yeah,
on.
I mean, moving walls and
He
he
created a
literally
whole
like,
subgenre. He could have
yeah,
been, I always think when I think of these criminals, I'm like, God, imagine if you had just done that for like a done something else for a career.
mm,
Like,
yeah, yeah, yeah. Become an architect. You clearly have the know-how.
yeah,
You probably could have earned a lot more money.
yeah.
Um, Holmes is pretty bad. Oh, it's hard to say because they're all of varying levels of bad, aren't they? I mean, I think when you're getting into the realms of not just murder is involved, when you're talking torture elements, I
Hmm.
think that makes it. I mean, Ian Brady and Myra Hindley,
Wait,
some
what'd
of
you
the
say?
worst. Ian Brady, Myra Hindley, the Moors
Oh
murder.
yeah. Uh huh. Didn't
I
the
mean, there you're
lady who helped
talking.
him get released?
Hmm.
Yo, that's crazy.
Yeah, some pretty sick shit.
Man, that's
So I think,
crazy.
I think when you take the different elements of like kids and torture and SA, and you throw that all in a bag, you can't get much worse than that, really.
There was also that really creepy married couple. I forget their name, but they were like,
Oh, from here?
really?
Do you mean from the UK?
Yeah, UK. Uh huh.
Yeah.
It's that dude with like the
Give me a
curly
sec.
hair. I forget the dude's name.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's
It'll
like
come to me in
Fred
a minute.
something.
West.
Fred West. Yeah,
Hmm.
that guy was a
And
sicko.
rosemary. Yeah. I think we grow them from seed.
Really?
Yeah, I think so.
So, do you ever read like
I
the
think
Hannibal books?
I don't have them. I've watched every single film. I keep trying to get them, but I can't get the collection altogether. So it'll annoy me because my OCD will kick in if I can't get them all the same. So I need to get them all the same.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to wait till I can do that. But no, I haven't read them, but I've watched every single one.
There was also a show called Hannibal that was pretty good.
Oh, uh, Magnus. No, what's his name?
Mads Mikkelsen.
Mads Mikkelsen. Very good.
Mm-hmm.
When you used to Anthony Hopkins, as Hannibal, you're not prepared for another actor. And then Mads Mikkelsen comes along and it's, oh, yeah, okay, that works too. Yeah, I very much enjoyed that.
Yeah, it's a good show. I need to watch it
Mm,
again. But great cinematography too.
mm.
Surprised
Yeah, it was good.
surprised NBC did that because NBC usually puts out
Mm,
crap shows.
really.
Or at least in my country, I don't know what you guys. I forget you guys don't have.
We can kind of get it. Depends what you've got.
You guys got
Yeah, we
BBC
don't.
over there.
Yeah, we don't have great viewing.
Heard Life
We
on
don't.
Mars is pretty good.
I don't know. Never seen it.
Oh.
The only thing that I've enjoyed, and I haven't really watched a series since it, was Walking Dead.
Yeah, it's actually one of my favorite comics. Um,
Mm.
yeah, I watched the show for a very long time, and then I just grew tired of it.
Yeah, it does. It does start to sort of get a little bit monotonous towards the end, but yeah, I very much enjoyed The Walking Dead. An American Horror Story. I enjoy that. As far as British viewing goes, see, this is I'm coming up empty.
Yeah, I know. I haven't
We'll
been
do the
watching.
odd. We'll do the odd good BBC drama.
Yeah, you
But
guys
other
tend
than
to
that,
wait for like 2 years for like a next season to come out. That's ridiculous.
hmm
How do you do it?
uh, with not much patience, to be honest, you kind of get
You know,
bored of waiting.
I just recently started Invincible season 2,
Okay.
and it was agony, and that was only like God, 3 or 4 or 5 months,
Mm.
2 years.
I cannot imagine having as many channels as you have in America.
Oh
Can't
yeah,
imagine it.
it's bad. It's bad.
I'd be, I'd just give up on that because I'd be like, it's just too much. There's just too much to choose from.
Yeah, it's it's a book. It's something.
That's why I read now. I really very, very rarely watch TV. Very rare. I read and I watch YouTube. That's it.
Yeah, it's about what I do as well. I
Mm.
haven't really been watching a lot. Also, I've just been lazy. I got a bunch of streaming services. I don't know what to
Mm.
choose from. I mean, I work as a reporter for my school's newspaper, so I'll have to
Okay,
watch
cool.
stuff for my job. But like on my
Mm.
own, I haven't really been watching a lot of stuff. I did watch the
Right.
Bob Marley movie though.
Okay. Enjoy it.
Yeah, it was fine.
Mm.
Made me want to read Brief History of Seven Killings though, but I have to take some time before I read that one because
Mm.
it's a hold on, let me pull it out. Which is also about Bob Marley, by the way.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
yeah, so there, it's a
Oh, okay.
little thick boy. So
Mm.
you know, also it's in like the Jamaican kind of. It's in the Jamaican lingo, so yeah, I'm gonna have to take
Oh,
some time
okay.
before I read. Do you ever watch Train Spotting
Yes.
or read the
A
book?
long time ago now, but
It's kind of like that,
oh, okay.
except it's the lingo is um, patois, which is like
Right. Right.
Jamaican,
Yeah.
slang rather
Yeah.
than Scottish.
Mhm.
Did you read the book of Train Spotting too?
No.
Oh, I was about to say yeah,
No.
that one's weird. I would watch the movie first to get an idea on how they talk,
Mm.
and then read the book. It's kind of like a Clockwork
Yes.
Orange in that way.
Yes. Yeah. Anything. Obviously, when you're talking about a different country and they have their own dialect or their own what's the word I want? Um, what is the word I want? Slang. Slang words.
Mm-hmm.
You do need to watch it prior to reading it because otherwise you're going to have no context in which to base it on.
Also, they
So
say
you.
"ken" a lot.
Mhm.
I don't know what that means. You're a British person.
In Train Spotting.
Yeah,
Say it again.
they say "ken" a lot.
Yeah, no idea.
You don't know? You're British though.
No. Yeah, but I'm not Cockney.
Fine.
My dad was. I'm not.
You know, your dad had an interesting life from what you were telling me.
Oh,
Like, you
yeah,
said you said
yeah.
he bodyguarded for like the Krays.
I wouldn't put it as bodyguarding, but yes, he worked for the
He
craze.
worked for the Krays. That's right.
Hmm.
Um.
If you want to call it bodyguarding, I'll go with that. But
Oh, I thought that's what you said, but I could be wrong.
mm-mm, no.
Um. Uh. I don't know if you've ever watched Count Dankula on YouTube. He does this show called Absolute Mad Lads, where he talks
Oh
about
no.
people who've done crazy shit. Um,
Oh, okay.
the Krays were an
Hmm.
episode because they did some pretty wacky stuff.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, they were. Yeah, a species all of their own. Hmm.
And then you said like your dad got like your
Hmm.
dad got like interrogated because they thought like he murdered somebody.
Hmm.
I'm like, that's
Yeah, my dad's
crazy,
life
man.
story is very, very interesting. Very interesting. He went through some peaks and troughs, definitely. Yeah. Started off as an orphan due to the war, so
Well, which
which
one?
confuses me.
There's a
He
lot of
was
wars.
evacuated. Yeah, he was evacuated from Plymouth, which is down south of England,
Oh,
to
World War
London.
Two.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. My dad was born in 1940.
oh,
Um, mm. So he was an evacuee child. Then he was orphaned and in and out of orphanages, foster homes. Usual script of that time, a lot of abuse. So he went through all that kind of shenanigans. Then he ran away, stopped going to school when he was like 11, so he didn't really have an education. Ran away, joined the circus, did things like that.
wow.
Um, and then mods and rockers became a thing, which is guys who ride motorbikes and guys who ride mopeds. So my dad jumped on the motorbikes and became a Hell's Angel.
They
And
have that in England.
yeah, yeah, oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
I thought that was mainly. I
Um,
thought that was like an American thing.
no, you've seen Quadrophenia, the film Quadrophenia.
Isn't that the Who? Isn't that an album from the
Hmm.
Who?
Yep, the Who are a British-based band.
Oh
Yeah, the
no, I've
film's
not
based
seen
in
the
Britain.
movie though.
Yeah, well, that's about the English version of Mods and Rockers. So that's basically, in essence, who my dad was. And they always fought with each other, rivalry, like uh, the modern day version of Romeo and Juliet. What's it called?
West Side Story.
West Side Story. Very similar to that, that kind of rivalry. Modern day, olden gangs, so to speak. So he was a Hell's Angel. He fought with the mods, and obviously the police then get involved, and they split and run away. But it so happened that my dad happened to run away with a fellow mod. And then at that point, they're then trying to escape the police. So then they become together. So they're running away, jumping fences, jumping garden hopping. They get caught. They're arrested for like disturbing the peace, etc. Um, so happens that my dad ended up sharing the cell with the same guy because he did get arrested properly, went to prison.
Oh,
And it just so happened that he ended up sharing a cell with the guy who he ran with, who was the mod. And they became friends. And then my dad returned to that cell, and that gentleman had ended his life because things were going on in the cell that shouldn't have been going on. So the same attempt was made on my dad. He
what did they
defended
like?
himself.
They
Essay.
did they assault him?
Hmm.
Oh,
Yeah, essay. Hmm. They did try to do it to my dad as well, and he'd already been through all that in the orphanages and foster homes, and
he got
he
assaulted in the
pushed.
orphanage.
Yeah, and foster homes. Yeah,
Oh
over
my
and over and over
god.
again. Hmm. Yeah, and then like I say, it happened in prison. The screws, as we call them,
Did they
tried to
assault
do
him or
it.
did they try?
Tried. Um, my dad pushed this particular gentleman down the stairs. That gentleman died, and my dad got an extra sentence. So,
Damn. Did he get out?
mhm. Yeah, he served 10 years for manslaughter. Yeah, came out, moved, came away from London, came to Manchester. Did the doors for a little bit because obviously once you've served time in prison, it's very difficult to get a job. The only thing you can do is door work, bouncer work, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So he did that for quite some time. Met a hell of a lot of famous people. Shawadi Wadi, the group, who were famous at the time. Who else did he meet? Freddie Starr, um, Tom Jones. He had a file full of their postcards with their autographs on. So he did that for a while, and then he met my mum, and here I am.
And then you came.
And then I came and went through a very similar thing.
Did you have any? Do you have any siblings?
Mm-mm.
Oh, you're an only
No,
child.
I'm just me. Yep, just me. So my past, I don't have a relationship with my mother, and my dad is sadly gone now. He's been gone for 10 years, so it's
What
just me and
happened
my
there? If
girls.
you don't mind me asking.
My mum,
Yeah.
same thing. SA, stepdad.
She essayed your stepdad.
No, my stepdad. My stepdad essayed me.
Oh.
My stepdad essayed me.
Oh.
Mm.
Oh.
That's why I made that video about Dead House Gates and fell asleep. Because it, I reflected on that as myself. I knew what she was kind of going through, and I wanted to give a different perspective because one or two people found her quite annoying as a character. But when you're going through trauma, it affects you in many, many, many different ways.
Mm.
And in my early 20s, I was quite an aggressive person. And that was me expelling my trauma.
Do you mean like you were like beating people up, or
No, not physically aggressive, just verbally quite aggressive. I
were you
wasn't a very nice person to
like
speak to.
were you banging a lot of people? Because I've heard people have done that after. I'm
No.
sorry, that was really. I
Just
feel
going
like
around
an.
knocking people out.
I feel like.
Looking at. Oof.
I feel like an asshole now.
No, don't. Listen, that's the truth of trauma, though, is it affects people in different ways,
So you were
and
just like you're just saying to fuck off a lot.
Mhm.
Guessing you used the c word a bunch because they use that
Oh
on your
yeah,
end.
yeah. And if anybody used the female dog word to me, that then crossed the line. Um, then there might have been a slap in the face, but that was back in my 20s. I'm not that person anymore.
So were you and your dad close?
Very.
Oh.
It's time.
Yeah, it's my work alarm. Put in my hours.
Yes, very. Me and my dad were very, very close. Once we found out about each other's past, because I was kind of taken from my dad quite quick. Basically, I went to school in the morning. I left at 3 p.m. and my mum said, "Make your choice. Who do you want to live with, me or your dad?" And I was like, "What?" 9 years old, like, "What?" And I went, "Well, you," because my dad worked a lot. So we was moving into this man's house who I'd met a few times, and he had 3 sons. And I'm just suddenly now shoved into a brand new life. And those 3 boys tried to bully me, and that didn't pan out too well for any of them. Um,
You gave him a roundhouse
I
kick.
gave them as good as they gave me. In fact, the eldest two, I battered. The youngest one, who I ended up having a really good relationship, we just couldn't beat each other. We were just kind of stalemate, and then we just became friends. But they all eventually left and went to live with the mum, and then I was left with them two. And yeah, and he confessed to my mother what he'd done, and she was like, he didn't mean it, kind of thing. So we don't speak. Hmm.
You, that's
Yeah, I know.
that's some
It's one, isn't it, where it catches your mouth and you're
yeah
like,
that's some quality logic if I've heard it.
uh-huh. So yes, me and my dad were very, very close. I was absolutely destroyed when I lost my dad.
Wow. Don't
Very
mean to laugh.
deep.
That is horrible, but oh.
No, I mean, listen, I find humour in those kind of things. You have to. Because if you can't find an element of humour in it, then it's going to, oh, this is me personally, it's going to destroy me. So I can make fun of it. And I don't mind fun being made of it because it's my survival technique.
I mean, okay, I guess I'm laughing at the perpetrator of
Hmm.
his loss. Did he
Oh,
really
yeah.
dead ass say that? Just like,
He
oh,
turned
yeah.
around and said to her that it was his way of showing me love. And I was like, oh, okay.
Mm,
And it wasn't until, I've got to be honest, it wasn't until I had my first daughter, so I was 20, that it all kind of dawned on me as to the situation. And I was working at the time, dropping my daughter off there. And then I watched him move towards my baby, and I just became vehemently angry. And
Would
that's
you
when
like
it
hold the
all
baby
sort of...
close? This like,
It was like, get off my daughter. I know who you are.
wait, was your actual dad there?
No. No, I didn't tell my dad any of that, and I should have done. But then I didn't know my dad's passed either, so we didn't have that conversation till I was 25.
No, I mean, when your daughter was born, when your kids were
Oh,
born.
God, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, my dad was actually... He knew about my first daughter. My mum was actually there when I had my first daughter, but my dad was around. But my second daughter, my dad was there when I had my second daughter.
What did was it acrimonious? Like they didn't get along after they?
Surprisingly, they actually got along quite well during all that time. But then there was like a breakdown of communication between them all. Can't remember what over now, but they just suddenly stopped talking. And my dad found out that I wasn't talking to them anymore. And that's when we had the conversation. And my dad told me about his past, and I told him about mine. But by that point, I think my stepfather was dead. Can't quite remember when he died, but...
Is your mom still alive?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Have you seen her at all?
I saw her, 10 years ago.
Oh wow.
She asked to have a meet, so I did. On off my dad, asking me would I, because my dad, through everything that he went through, my dad became a Christian,
Oh.
and it helped him to get through it. And through that, he asked me would I, and I said I'll do it for you. So I did, and I needed her to own up to what she'd done in this, um, because she allowed for that to happen and she allowed us to stay there. So I needed her to acknowledge that, and she wouldn't. So I told her to leave.
Damn.
Mm. It's very deep, isn't it?
Wasn't expecting that. I guess.
Well,
I guess that's why. I guess that's
I
why
think
you're.
everybody's got a story, though, haven't they?
Guess.
Everybody's got a
Guess that's
past.
why you're much into the twisted material. I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Little.
Yeah, I would have to
Little.
say.
Little. It's left its mark on you. I see. Anyway.
Yeah, at least I don't, I have a very, what's the word I want? A very harsh attitude towards anybody that wants to do anything like that.
Yeah, I don't blame you. It's not nice. It's not a nice thing to
Mm.
do.
But then again, it's potentially made me who I am today in a way.
I mean, I've that's not happened to me, so I'm not gonna comment
Mm.
on that.
Yeah, I would say so. It's made me quite a strong woman.
I tend to kind of be I find the whole like, oh, everything happens for a reason kind of distasteful.
I'm not sure I'd go with that. But the face of adversity, it's that, isn't it? The fight or flight, survival. Do you fight or do you fly? And I'm a fighter.
Yeah, I tend to retreat into myself. I'm not much of a. You won't see me getting into somebody's face and be like, "Yo, fuck you, fuck your mom," or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, that's not necessary, is it? I mean, what I mean is when it comes to my daughters, there's been a lesson strongly learned for me, and woe
I
betide
mean,
if you
I don't know
try
if
and
I mean
hurt
I
my
don't know if
daughters.
that's like your style. I don't know if you like go up to somebody's face, go like "fuck you," fuck
Give them a
everything,
head.
something like that. I don't know. I
Um, no comment.
don't know. No, yeah. I
No
got bullied a
comment,
lot when
Britton.
I was a kid.
Mhm.
Probably the worst thing that's happened to me.
Both my girls got bullied quite severely. By boys. Mm.
Yeah, it's always yeah. I mean, it's always us guys. We can be
Mhm.
mean.
Oh, they were. They were. I mean, this one particular boy kicked my daughter in her.
Oh,
Um, yeah, and bruised it quite badly. And then
oh.
Yeah, he had a confrontation with Phoebe's mum.
Like, get up in his face, like, oh, fuck you.
Well, you need to find your. Where's your mother? Was what he was asked. Where's your mother? Because
Wait,
that's not how a boy should behave.
might have been getting beaten at home. Who knows? I have no
Well,
idea.
you see, now I've been a teaching assistant.
Oh, you're a teacher. Okay.
Teaching assistant. I have a lot of what's the word?
Troubled youth.
Respect. Respect for teachers. Hell of a lot of respect for teachers.
Oh, okay.
So as a teaching assistant, you spend a lot of your time with essentially children on the spectrum, children that are just having difficulties, and you see an awful lot of things like that, where there's stuff going on at home, and yeah, it's not the best.
I did see you read going on the less heavy topics.
Yes.
I did see you read Malazan.
Mm-hmm.
That's one I've been wanting to check out for a while. Well, I've been kind of hesitant because it's like 10 books and they're very thick.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know.
They're a bit. Yeah,
It's on the
they're a bit of a
someday
commitment.
list.
They're a bit of a commitment. Guardians of the Moon is amazing. I don't know if any of them are ever going to change my opinion on that book, because as the opening book to that series, it is phenomenal. Dead House Gates,
Heard a
I
lot of mixed
struggled
things
with a
about
little
the.
bit.
It's interesting you say that. I've heard a lot of mixed
Mm.
things about the first book.
Yeah, yeah, and so I was a bit dubious going into it, but it blew my mind. Blew my mind. I couldn't rave about it enough. Dead House Gates, I struggled with that one. I'm not a huge fan of the battle scenes, but because of what the battle scenes mean in Dead House Gates, you have to go through them. Otherwise, you will miss way too much information. So that was a struggle for me to go through them battle scenes, because and we're not just talking sort of, a 5-page battle scene, we're talking a chapter of a battle scene. So it's quite arduous going to get through that for somebody who isn't a fan of major battle scenes like that. So yeah, it's the Dead House Gates is a little bit, for me it was anyway, a little bit of a push to get through. So I've got Memories of Ice that I've got to read. I'm thinking, and whether I'll regret saying it, I'm thinking I might do Malazan May and see how far I
What
can
does
get
that
in May
mean?
with the books.
Right.
Well, that means begin with where I've left off, so Memories of Ice,
Mm-hmm.
and then carry on with the series for as long as I can in May.
Oh, okay.
See how far I get. So
Well,
block off everything else. May's just for Malazan.
well, they're very long, so
Mm-hmm.
good luck.
Yeah. Well, I think Gardens of the Moon took me 3 days.
Jeez.
And the
How
Dead
many
House Gates
pages do
took
you
me
read a
about
day?
a lot, a lot. I
Oh
read
gosh.
for 6-7 hours a day.
Oh,
Maybe
okay.
more.
That makes sense.
Yeah, yeah, I read a lot. That's why I can do 3 videos a week, because I read a lot.
Yeah, I used to do 3 videos a week, and then one of those days was just too ridiculously busy. I'm like, nope, not gonna
Yeah,
do it. So Monday became podcast days. So I upload my
yeah,
podcast on Mondays.
yeah. It's good. I'd love to do something like that, where bring people and have a chat.
Through the pages with D, the
Mm,
podcast. I
mm.
don't know. Something like that. I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know.
yeah, yeah. I was like, what would I call it? Probably similar to my Discord. Titter tattle tales.
Yeah. So are there books you're looking forward to reading in the future?
Oh, so many, so many. Um, where do you start? I'm currently reading Mark Lawrence, The Book That Wouldn't Burn. That's good.
I've heard that one's good.
Um,
Philip
mm,
Chase was big on that one.
yeah, it's good. I'm 7 chapters in now, I think. Yeah, it's good. Um, think after that, we'll see. It'll be a mood. Oh, I know what's coming after that. Sorry, telling fibs. The Spear That Cuts Through Water.
Oh yeah,
Simon
been
Jimenez.
hearing a lot about that one.
Well, you see, curiosity.
That's one of
Gotta
those.
know.
It's one of those. Everyone and their grandma and their
Yeah.
dead relatives are telling me to go read that one.
Yeah, I've gotta know.
It's
Curiosity's got
like
me now.
it's
And
like this book over here. Let me just pull this one out. Yeah, this one I'm gonna read this summer, hopefully. Oh man, this one.
Lonesome Dove.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's one
See, that's
everyone's
another
like,
one
oh
that
my
I want to
gosh,
read.
Britton, you should go read it. And I'm like, yeah,
Mm,
okay, yeah.
that's
I
another
wanna,
one I want. Lonesome Dove.
but I want to read it. It's I like westerns.
Mm. Yeah, that's what I would quite fancy. A decent western.
I mean,
I
you
also
may like
fancy.
Cormac McCarthy, but his stuff is
Mm.
just it'll it's You're
Yeah,
clearly
I
not the faint of heart, so I think you'll be okay. But it's not for the
mm.
faint of heart.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, no, no. No, I'm not a delicate flower.
Yeah, no, Blood Meridian
It
is
would take a lot to turn me away from a page. A hell of a lot.
Blood Meridian is whole. That one's a book.
Mm. Yeah, and
Oh,
that's it.
oh,
Oh, sorry.
other books you were gonna read?
Um, I did a book haul of 18 the other day. I bought another 10 today. So I
Oh my
mean,
god,
and then I've still got
10? How
what I
much
haven't.
was that?
It was £100.
Oh my god.
Did you hear that?
I heard a little, and I'm like, oh man, I heard 100 something.
100 pound sign.
Oh.
Mm. Yeah,
Yeah.
but that's because the H.P. Lovecraft Necronomicon was £30 just for one. So, but yeah, but I do sort of weigh the balance because when I go on Amazon and I see an author and they've been around for a while, I always check the second hand, so the buy used. So I'll always go there first before I'll even consider paying the full price because you can always get a decent copy on the second used.
Yeah, no, I hear you. It's
But I do love the feel of a brand new book.
I know what you mean. I enjoy it. Like I'll pick up a book when I just like I go
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
or I'll just
It's
like
just that feeling, isn't it? That brand new, that
or you sniff a
oh,
book or something. Are you a book?
yes, man.
Are you a book sniffer?
Yes,
Had
yes,
a feeling you were.
yes, yep, yeah. I'm a book sniffer, especially old books. What did I get the other day? Oh, Jenny Wirt.
Oh yeah, I've seen interviews with
Yeah.
her from
I got that the other day, and it's
people
come
who
from a
I
library.
know on the booktube, like
And
Tori.
oh yeah, yeah. And well, I was watching the live with Bryce, Shell Centered, when she was on there, and I asked her would she adopt me. Told her I was house trained. She didn't seem interested. It's a fair point. I wouldn't adopt me either. But, so I picked this up because I wanted to read her books because I just thought she was a fantastic female. But it smells like old church.
I have wanted to read Ursula K. Le Guin for a very long time.
Oh yeah.
So maybe someday.
Mm.
Also, is that the crow behind you?
Yes, it is.
I actually rewatched that film the other day because apparently there's a new one coming out. So I don't know what you think about that, but I rewatched the old one and it's still good. It's very good.
I am a huge fan of the old film purely because that gentleman died in the making of that film, and CGI content you would never know.
Yes, I've
So,
gathered you're a very macabre person.
very. But that film in itself is just fantastic. It's got a beautiful soundtrack, beautiful story about love. Yeah, I like that film a lot. And we've got my Joker as well.
I see your Joker as well. I have a Joker up there.
Yes, I like my little pop figures.
I see you like Funko Pops. I mean,
Mm-hmm. Very
um,
much.
I mean, I don't know if you've ever watched Daniel Green, but apparently, I mean, you can put on his. I've tried getting on his bookshelf roast, but he hasn't paid attention to me yet.
Okay.
Maybe someday. Maybe someday.
Mm. Maybe have a room move around and then he'll spot it and do it.
Yeah, I don't have any Funko Pops though. I just have I have Nutcrackers. I have Mr. Gumbo up there.
Cool.
Some
I like
car.
nutcrackers.
I like collecting quarters. Good
Oh,
stuff
okay.
like that.
Mm. Most I have more um, Funko Pops downstairs in the living room.
Also see Chucky, and I think that's the Terminator.
Mm-hmm. It is. Mm-hmm. But the other ones are boxed and I won't take them out, so that's Groot.
Oh,
And behind Groot is my dad, Thanos.
oh.
My dad had a little bit of a look of Thanos.
I don't know if that's terrifying or not, but we'll go with that.
Probably. And then down here, which you never see, I have somebody who's apparently quite rare. Bumblebee.
Oh,
I am a huge Bumblebee lover.
oh. Hmm.
And then way up here, which you can't see, I have Beetlejuice in his taxi driver outfit and Trick or Treat Sam from Trick or Treat.
That's an underrated movie.
Very, very.
I was
He's
like,
next to add to my tattoo collection. Is Little Sam.
hilariously, my friends Jason and some people on his Discord server, we were watching Krampus the other day.
Mm.
It's kind of funny, but it's also like kind of creepy as well.
Mhm. I
It's,
do. I like that film. I
I
generally
like how
tend
he's
to.
like, sacrifice me, and then he goes, nah, he just pushes the girl in.
You're right.
Uh,
Throw him in. Yeah, I like the Nana in that.
some good puppet work too.
Mm. Yeah, in the attic.
Um, yeah, no, it's a good, it's a solid movie. I thought.
Yeah, it's okay. But Beetlejuice is one of my faves.
Yeah, I watched Beetlejuice a long time ago. I remember
Mm.
liking it.
He's a great actor.
Michael Keaton, yes.
Mhm. Yes, I like him.
Uh, what else? I love Alien a lot.
Mhm. Yeah.
And kind of my spicy take, I like the first one a lot more than the second. Or it may not be a spicy take. I don't know. I don't know
No, I
what's
think that's
spicy
a
anymore.
fair assessment. I believe that's a fair assessment myself.
I like the horror stuff better than. I mean, don't get me
Yeah.
wrong. I like James Cameron. Terminator, you
Mm.
know, Terminator is a quality movie. But, funnily enough, I like the first Terminator more than Judgment Day. Now, that might be a bit more spicy.
I'm kind of equal on them.
Fair enough.
I did enjoy the liquid metal cop. I thought that was
I
interesting.
do like that. That's very
Mm.
good. He was actually really good in that movie.
Mm.
It was funny though. I don't know if you ever saw The Sopranos, but the same guy who played
No.
the liquid guy was on The
Mhm.
Sopranos, and he just plays
Oh,
this
okay.
just wiener. It's
Oh,
hilarious.
right.
It's just
No, I've
sad
never seen
sack.
it.
Oh, it's great. I mean, it's kind of tragic and messed up because it's like it's a gangster
Mm.
show, but it's kind of funny seeing the contrast.
Yeah. Never seen Sopranos. I did watch yeah,
You,
Breaking Bad.
oh yeah, that's a great one.
Yeah, Breaking Bad was
That's
amazing.
my favorite show.
Yeah, it was amazing. Yeah, yo. That's about as far as my impression goes. Yeah, Mr. White. Yeah, yo.
Church, yo. Yeah.
We were doing that for quite some time after we watched that. Yeah, yo, and everything.
So we just like get behind your daughter and just be like, hey,
Yeah.
and it's like, hey, yo. Just like,
No,
shit,
it's
what the hell?
creep up behind them, down their ear. Yeah, yo.
No, it's a good time. It's a good time.
Yeah, it was
So wait, you
great.
have all three? You have all three first law books back there?
I do, yeah.
Just, you're just
Yeah.
not gonna. Are you gonna read the other two or?
It's a mood thing.
Ah, okay.
It's a mood thing. I, I will, because I won't leave a series unfinished. But I'll have to be in the mood.
All right.
Hmm.
I should ask, do you like watching yourself when you make YouTube videos?
Yeah, I do actually.
Really? Oh, I hate
Mhm.
watching myself.
Do you?
I do.
See, now I would have thought that.
Really?
Um, yeah, yeah. Um,
Is
it
it
doesn't
because I'm
bother me in
hard
the
on myself? Is that why you
yes,
suspected that? Okay.
yes,
Okay.
yeah, yeah. You do give yourself a hard time.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
do. I do.
and I get a little bit mum on you at times when I'm watching.
You
I
get a
think,
little
were you
mom?
just a little mum on you? So a mother. I take
Oh.
a bit of a mother role towards you when I'm watching. And I just think, will you stop it, Brit? Just stop it.
Yeah, you watched my Paranacy chat I did with my friend Colin the
Mm.
other day. I'm like, we spoiled the whole thing. Like, what?
But you see, that's your take on it. So I'm not bothered because
Ugh.
I won't necessarily store that information. I'll store it once I've read it.
If you can, yeah, that's up to you. I was kind of like, we just spoiled the whole thing. What are you
No,
doing?
no. You see, the way I see that is, I won't do that to anybody else because I just think that's just my way. I wouldn't do that to anybody else. But for me, that's my choice to watch that, and I do that quite a lot. And it gives me an insight as to what I'm going to read. It's not spoiling the story for me. That's like somebody telling me what happens in a film, and I'll be like, oh, okay. That makes me then decide, is that for me or is it not?
Um, I will say I am going to be reading her Behemoth, Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell next
Oh,
month,
okay.
which should be fun.
Mm.
I'm actually looking forward to it because you know, it's a one that people have told me is really good. So I want to,
Yeah.
I want to see
Yeah, definitely.
everyone's talking about.
Mm. Yes, give it a go. Why not?
I did like Paranacy though a lot. If you
Mm.
couldn't tell from the hour long video I did. Oh, there it
Well, I
is.
picked it up, so I picked it up.
You guys got water stones over there.
Mm-hmm.
What
Yeah,
are you?
but I mean, I got a GoPro today. Um, so I've got ideas that I want to do out and about with regards to BookTube. Um, so I picked up a GoPro, and we have a particular Waterstones in a place in Manchester that's called Deansgate, and it's this stunning old building. It's absolutely beautiful. So obviously we have to ask permission to film. So I'm going to ask tomorrow if they mind if I do a quick sort of walk around inside the building, because you can tell it's a period building and it's beautiful. So, but saying that, obviously, compared to UK, everything in America is bigger. It's just bigger than what we have. So your Barnes and Noble stores give me serious book envy because
Yeah,
we just
no,
don't have
Barnes and
anything
Noble's
that
pretty
big.
big.
Mm.
Well, it depends on where you go.
Well, I think I'd have to bring a sleeping bag, some food, um, because I would be there for quite some time.
You get a lot of you get a lot of what's the word? Flack maybe. I don't know.
Oh, really?
You can't get lost in a Barnes and Noble because you'll be
Mm.
walking around looking at books and then like 2 hours have gone by. You're like, oh shit.
Yeah, that would be me. Yeah.
I don't know if that happens at Waterstones, but
Uh, they're not really big enough. Um, but yes, even though they're not big enough, that's a me thing. So I definitely do. Yeah, I can be there for hours. Mm. I don't even care. It's just
yeah.
tough. If you come with me, then that's what you're there for.
I
Is
would
the
accompany
ride.
you to the bookstore.
Oh, that'd be nice.
If I
Well, some
ever
of our, I don't know if Barnes and Nobles do, but we have cafes in Waterstones.
if I ever I mean if I ever do go to England, which I would love to do at
Mm.
some point. Because I got a good friend of mine who lives over there, so
Yeah,
maybe I could just
you'd
check.
enjoy it.
He's in London though,
Yeah.
so I don't know how far that is from Lancashire.
It's a good old distance, but I mean, there's trains.
I mean, are you still in Lancashire? Or is that what it's called?
I love how you say that. Just say Lancashire.
Lancashire.
There you go, Lancashire. Yes, Oldham. Well, it's Oldham, Greater Manchester, kind of Lancashire. Yeah.
All right.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yes, Greater Manchester is quite a big area, but it's not quite as big as London. But it is quite big.
Yeah, but I would love to go to England at some point.
I'd love to go to America.
America's pretty
Have to.
nice.
Yeah,
Now,
I'd
we
have
do
to
have
have a
some crazy
passport to
people
stay.
over here, but it's actually not bad.
Who cares? We have crazies here, so I mean.
That's true. I mean, you do have, well, oh God, what's that guy's name? Blonde hair. It's not.
I mean, there's quite a few, so you're gonna have to be more specific.
The guy who kind of looks like Donald Trump. I forget his name.
Oh, the ex-prime minister.
Yeah, that guy.
Oh God, his name's gone.
It's not Nigel Farage. That's another guy.
No. Oh, his name's gone. As people will be screaming. Um, it just came and went again.
I don't know.
No,
But there's
no,
crazy people
no.
everywhere. I'm guessing.
I'm gonna have to Google it because that'll drive me insane. Boris
Johnson. That's right.
Johnson. There we go. Never mind. Don't need to Google it. Boris Johnson. Yeah. Definitely eccentric. I didn't mind him. But then again, I don't mind eccentric people. I think they can have some of the best personalities you can come across. So.
Yeah, I remember there was this mayor of Toronto who smoked crack.
Oh, really?
They gave him some flack for that one.
Oh.
Yeah, he died a few years ago. I think his name was like
Oh.
Rob Ford or something. I don't live in Canada though. I live in Oklahoma, America.
Mm.
I have wanted to visit Canada, and there are people who are like, "Why?" I'm like, I don't know. It's a lot of woods and
A lot of greenery.
a lot of greenery. Yeah, it's like, but it's cold, and I'm like, have you ever been to Canada? No.
That's my climate. I'm a winter person. That's what I want to be there. If I've got 6 months of snow, I'm happy. Yeah,
My
I'd love
dad would
to. I'd love
probably
to go
hate
to
it.
Canada.
He's not a winter person. He doesn't like the cold in general. Yesterday it was like,
Right.
oh God, it wasn't that cold, and I was like just walking around. I'm like, this isn't too bad. But Dad's all bundled up. This is his birthday, so I'm like, yeah.
Yes, he shares it with Alan, doesn't he?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, he does. Apparently, I didn't gather that. He
I only saw that this morning. With little baby Atticus.
little baby, I've thought about getting Alan on my show, but I don't know. How would that go?
It'll be fun.
Yeah, I mean it would be fun for sure, but I'm like, I don't know how that would go. You know, would he start ranting about One
Does he
Piece?
intimidate you a little bit?
Also, I'm kind of intimidated to ask.
Yeah,
He'd be
that's
like, "Go
what I
away,
thought.
peasant," like or something crazy. He probably wouldn't.
I thought
do
that, but I did some communicating with him, so to speak, in the comments after he made the video about his being on the spectrum, and I was saying about my 2 girls are on the spectrum in
I am
one
also
way or
on the
another.
spectrum.
I know. You didn't need to tell me. I know. After 26 years of living with a girl who's on the spectrum, you kind of pick these things up. And being a teaching assistant, you pick these things up. But I was saying, how brave he was to do that, and how not necessarily brave, but how more people should do that and not feel ashamed of these things, because there's no reason to feel ashamed of it. It's not like it's a disease. It's just how you're born, and there's no shame involved in it. And we just had a little bit of a back and forth, and I'd never spoke to him before in the comments, and he's lovely.
Yeah, no,
Lovely.
I mean, he seems
Yeah.
like a nice
So
guy when he's
don't.
not, doing his Alan persona and, ranting about stuff.
Yeah, but I love that. I think that's mostly why I watched him, to have a good rant. He was doing something not long ago where he was being very just and I will do it this way. And hello, everyone. And I told him that if he didn't stop it, I was going to drink the Kool-Aid because it's just not Alan.
You know, I've
I
thought about
like
I've thought
Alan.
about making a video about having autism, but I don't know what I would
Mm,
say just yet. But I've thought
well,
about like responding to that.
mm,
But I do have a title though. It'd be like, I have autism, and you know what? I'm okay with it, or something like that,
that's a great title.
or something like that. I
It's a great title.
don't
And
know.
I don't, in my opinion, I don't know why you don't. Because
I just don't know what I would say yet. I need to
mm,
think about it a little
work
bit
on that.
before I do it. Someday, maybe
Yeah.
because Autism Month in America is like in May or June, I think.
Oh, okay.
In that time, maybe I'll do it then. I
That'd be
don't know.
nice. Mm.
I don't know.
Well, that'd be a nice time. Listen, my daughter has it. My eldest one, who was nipped on the video, and she also has dyslexia, which causes her extra problems when it comes to reading, and dyspraxic with the numbers. Sorry, not dyspraxic, dyscalculus with numbers. Dyspraxic is when you can't tie your shoelaces, etc. But so she's had a struggle, and then my youngest girl is kind of ADD. She has a very short attention span, and she's doing psychology at uni. So it's good if there are people out there who can put a stop to tarnishing such things, as in just because you have XYZ, it means you can't do, when actually you can do whatever you want.
Yeah, I mean, I'll admit, I've been kind of keeping this on the down low, but I'll just bring it up real quick. I was kind of pissed off the other day when I learned that they weren't gonna do the One Piece thing anymore. Cause
Mm,
I mean, I don't really.
yeah.
I mean, on the one hand, I don't really care. I've never really read One Piece, but I do care on the fact that, hey,
Hmm.
like, I don't want
Yeah.
I don't want an audience dictating what I do. Like, I felt really
Yeah.
dirty after that. I don't know if you heard about that, but
Yeah.
I felt pretty dirty though.
Yeah. I felt really bad for Alan. Really bad. Because it bothered him. And
Yeah, then he
somebody
started
like
doing
Alan,
he
yeah.
started doing his whole like he's like
But you could
I'm
see that it bothered him, on a personal level. And that's not right. That's not right.
yeah, I was
Uh,
pretty mad about that. I was like,
yeah.
really? Like,
I was saying to my daughter, literally before my other one, who's at uni, I was explaining, like I'm doing this with you, uh, for me this evening, for you this afternoon. And I was saying, he's such a sweeter. I said, he really is. I said, I've got this kind of maternal um, friendship towards him where I want to protect him. Um, and I'd be like, if anybody started giving him shit, I'd be like, don't be talking to Britton like that. Just don't. I did the same with Darko, and I know he was joking. But- and he was saying, about his computer, and how if he doesn't do another video, it might be because his husband has done something. I
yeah, I
just
know.
put on to Darko. I was like,
I was a
don't
little
don't be touching
surprised
my Darko.
when
Don't.
he said that. I wouldn't have sussed that out, but hey, I'm like, good for you, man.
Yeah, yeah. Um, but I was sort of like, listen, I've got you. If your husband hurts you, I've got you, because I'm a woman who protects her friends, so I've got you. So I just feel like a little bit of a protection towards you, because I already knew you was on the spectrum. You didn't have to tell me that. I already knew, and it means nothing more to me than meeting anybody else. It doesn't make you any different than anybody else to me.
Yeah, I
You're
was
still my
pretty.
friend.
But yeah, I just felt kind of dirty after that. I was like, man,
Hmm. Yeah. So did I. Didn't like it at all.
I'm like, you shouldn't
That's
let
what I
people
had.
bully you from talking about. I mean, One
Mm,
Piece. I mean, again,
yeah.
like, I don't want to say I don't care because I'm complaining about it right now with you, but
Mm,
but I mean, for one,
yeah.
One Piece doesn't look like something I would read anytime soon. I mean, it just looks
Mm,
kind of, you know, anime-y.
yeah. 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 I don't think it's something I'll get into. Um, and I think that
But I don't like audiences, making
no.
people do things, I guess. Because that's why I
Yeah,
started
and
my
you
channel.
mean in
Like,
the
I'm like,
concept of them stopping filming. Yeah, I agree with you there. But I think that's the right choice if it's going to just continue to upset Alan because he doesn't deserve that. And that's not what the idea of it was in the first place. It was to have a laugh as a group of friends who have been a group of friends for quite some time and have formed a relationship off the back of YouTube, BookTube, but outside of that, they communicate, and they just wanted to do something for the fun of it. And a few choice people spoiled that and attacked one of them. And what I feel like that is like a united front for Alan to sort of say, yeah, you don't get away with that. And I think they handled it well.
Yeah. I mean,
It was like when I posted, I ummed and ahed about whether or not to do a video about the book Kindred.
Oh yeah.
Because,
Did you see me and Darko's conversation about that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I put that up, and then Darko put his up like that day before, and then I woke up the next day to upload our conversation, and it had just blown up. I was like,
yeah, yeah, I know.
I was like, man.
But I mean, the man is eloquent on that video. He is.
Yeah, he was. No, that was a great video. I mean, I was like, that was great. By the way, he's like, yeah, thanks.
Sold me. Yeah.
He's a good dude. Let me see if I can find my copy because I.
Yeah.
Oh, here it is. Here. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, mine's slightly different than that. I think mine's a TV.
Man, mine is
Mine's a TV one.
Oh yeah, I see that.
Yeah, the Disney streaming on Disney, apparently.
Yeah, Kindred's it's a dark book, but it's not it's not completely hopeless.
Yeah, yeah.
It's kind of the
but
same.
I felt that thing of, should I talk about it? Should I? I don't want to come across as any particular way, even though I know I'm not. But sometimes things can be misconstrued, and so that was the whole that battle in my head of should I, shouldn't I? But I did, and there you go.
That's why I had the conversation with Darko, because I thought it would be interesting, since
yeah,
I'm clearly a very white man, and he's a black guy, so I'm like, and also,
but he's a gay black guy.
I've said it a couple times, but it kind of came together
by
accident.
You've got the thing with Darko, haven't you? That he's a gay black gentleman. So I mean, he gets discrimination from two different ends.
Yeah.
He can do, like the fact that he's gay and the fact that he's a man of colour. It can get discrimination from both sides, and that's.
I'll admit, I was a little I was a little like, oh, okay. When he mentioned he had a husband, I'm like, oh, well, all right. Look, I mean, we're still bros, but I don't judge him for it or anything like that. But it was just kind of like, okay, and he was really he's very casual about it. I'm like, oh,
yeah. I love that. He's open, and this is who I love that.
I mean, that. I didn't want to prod him because I try to be thoughtful of other people's privacy.
Yeah, no, you do, and you do a good job of it. You do.
I try. I mean, though I was kind of picking your mind about being.
I came on here, Britton, with the absolute honesty of ask me what you want, because I am not. I'm an open book. Pardon the pun. But I am. I'm an open book. You can ask me anything. I have nothing to hide. I'll talk to you about whatever you want to talk about. My past, I have no shame. I have no fear of talking about it. That's just me. That's not pushing that theory on anybody else. That's just me. So I'm an open book. Ask me whatever you want, and I will answer it.
I hear you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I will say this: I do need to eat soon because I am starving.
Oh, I was about to say, that's good you brought that up, because I mean, as much as I have enjoyed this, I imagined that I would, but I have enjoyed this. I have some other things I need to do, so I guess we'll just wrap up there. D.
Yeah, it's been lovely. I knew I'd get on with you. I knew I would. You're a little darling.
If you wanna, as I like to do before the end of this, if I can keep you on for just a minute longer.
Uh-huh.
If you have any social media you want to talk about, feel free to share here.
Okay, so generally everything is at Through the Pages with D. I have Discord, Twitter. I don't have Facebook. I don't like Facebook. I'm not likely to have a Facebook. Discord, Twitter, and my YouTube channel, Through the Pages with D. That's where you can find me.
All right. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. This has been Britton's Hangout Hour episode 66. Can't believe we made it this far. But D, we should do this again at some
Yeah,
point. And we
we should.
probably will. So,
Yes, I've loved this. Thank you
uh,
so much for having me, Britton.
and take care, everyone. Until next time.
Tatty bye.